G'day YouTube, Warbles on a lot here. I'm going to have a go at the fourth burn in the burn program, and before I start I thought I might just show you a little bit of the work that's already been done. Here we see the southeast corner and the eastern boundary of the first burn since 1998, because around this part of the place I used to field slash, but extended about 26 metres over to here. Not a whole lot of this stuff burnt, so I didn't have drip torch fuel by that stage, but essentially the first burn was 800 metres, 800 square metres. The interesting thing was that I proved that slashing and dropping the grass on the ground does not stop it from burning, because I slashed here 1 week before I burnt. Bit exciting, isn't it? So that came down to here. Burnt across to this little game trail here, 800 square metres. Now the second burn, I continued to go down into the scrubby country and the gully, and this little sort of avenue down here was the edge of the burn. So that's third burn. And I obviously had a wet line over on this side, and I burnt up the hill into an easterly breeze. And yeah, the knee-high bracken fern and blady grass burnt pretty well, although this stuff over here in the gully was too wet to stay burning after I'd get a dry bit. And this I did have drip torch fuel for, but it still wouldn't go. Once I'd burnt the main part out there under the trees, I did have a go at getting this stuff to burn. But again, if you haven't got the drip torch fuel, you just can't get the heat intensity for the burning dry stuff to evaporate the moisture and drive it off. And effectively the latent heat of turning what moisture there is into steam puts the fire out. That's why a little bit of water on a wetline is really good. Water has 10 times the thermal mass of steel. Takes 10 times the energy to raise a kilo of water by the same amount of temperature rise as it takes to raise the same weight of steel. Okay, that's first burn, second burn, and I'm now at the corner where the third burn started off along here with the camera on a tripod down there in the gully, and went across here quite well. It was a layered burn because the wind changed, and I basically kept on burning across onto the established blacked out areas, which is pretty much what the plan is for tonight. because I was having a bit of trouble with the eastern edge of burn number 3, I didn't actually finish the final pass. Now the final pass on burn number 3, I'll just pretty much walk across the ground. As you can see behind me, we've got blady grass that's thigh to waist high, and it was quite well anchored on that little game trail running along there. So I left this stuff over here, even though I had run a wet line that went down and around it, anchored on this game trail. That was the burn side and this was the wet side. But the problem was, coming up along here, this stuff here was putting up 12 or 15 feet of flames, and this is one of the places where that's the wetline side, that's the burn side, and that was where I wanted the limit of the burn to go. So I've had to put that out with the water pump sprayer, had to put that out with the water pump sprayer, had to reinforce that line all along there, put that out with the water pump sprayer, squirt a bit of water out over there, put this out and reinforce it, put this out and reinforce it, because here you've got a fire, there you've got a flame going up 12 feet into the sky, and over here you've got dry cured fuel with a small layer of water on it. So it's worthwhile thinking about the energy release. A 3 metre flame or 10 feet high, 1 square metre across at the base, is 1,000 horsepower. Yes? So if you've got 15 foot flame height, that's 1,500 horsepower per square metre, and if you've got 10 square metres alight in one go, with a 15 foot flame coming off the top of it, it may only be like that for a minute or two. But you're talking 15,000 horsepower worth of heat release. A lot of radiant heat. Which brings me to this bright yellow glow in the dark stripy hero suit. One of my subscribers, Walkabout16, asked me to tell him about the yellow garb. He wanted to know if it's a fireproof costume. Up to a point, sort of thing, kind of. It's been treated with stuff called Pro-Ban. So it's a pair of cotton overalls, heavy duty, specially designed for firefighting, reinforced at the knees with glow-in-the-dark stripes so people can see you in smoke under headlights. And it should not catch fire. This particular pair, part 1, no longer allowed on the official fire grounds because it's a one-piece overall. You've got to have 2-piece overalls because researchers showed they give lower body core temperatures on the fire ground because you can get air coming up under the jacket and coming out through the collar, and it keeps the person inside cooler. But I think the main reason that they started the change was because women find it very difficult to have a pee on the fire ground when they're wearing a one-piece overall. So they brought the 2-piece overalls in when we started to get women in the fire services, and the one-piece overalls then got phased out because it was easier to just have everybody in the one-piece because they were more efficient anyway. However, for my purposes, this is better at resisting catching fire than anything else I own. Therefore I wear it. And because I'm not making this movie with the auspices of the New South Wales Rural Fire Service, I'm merely a landholder, I've decided to cover up the New South Wales RFS crest that used to show up in the camera, and I've covered it over with a Parks and Wildlife Tasmanian Fire Crew badge, which I was given in 2002 by a Tasmanian raft crew that was up here helping us with a Section 44 fire. Anyway, my plan is now to lay a wet line and get into it because it's almost dead calm. Warbles on a lot to YouTube. That's the plan. Ciao.